Good morning, everyone. Um, Welcome to devotions today. It's a fantastic May day that we're having here before us. Totally can tell that we're staring down the pipeline to Memorial Day. Just can't wait to get out there and enjoy the weather here with our long weekend that we have coming up. So I'm glad that you all braved the weather to be able to make it over here today. Do we have any visitors here this morning? Any introductions that need to be done? Okay, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Amy Pokela, and I work over in the foundation. I've been with the society now for over 7 years, and I think that this is about my 10th time-ish doing devotions. So I felt like that would give me the opportunity here today to give everyone some tips for doing a devotion. So if you haven't done one yet, I'm gonna share with you some knowledge that I have learned over my time here and in doing devotions. So, unless you want to cry in front of your coworkers, you should avoid talking about your mother. In my defense, it was my first devotion that I ever did, and so I was truly a rookie. And so then when I made this rookie mistake, so do know that you, unless you want that to happen, that's something you should keep in mind. Also keep in mind that there is one part of the devotions process that is more intimidating to each person who does it. For me, it is the song. The idea of getting up in here and talking in front of you all, that's fine. I am totally fine with that. But the idea that there is an element of song that is expected within these devotions, that is the piece that tips me over every time. So do know that when we do get to the song, I will be turning off the microphone and stepping away so that no one has to maybe hear me sing a note. The other thing that you should know is that 15 minutes goes really quickly. So when you start thinking about this, you think to yourself, well, that is a lot of time to fill. There's no way that I will have something to say for that amount of time. But it does go really quickly when you're standing up here, so you should know that. The next thing, and this might be the most important tip that I can give you, is make sure you read all the announcements. Gail is fantastic. She is a kind, wonderful human. But if you miss an announcement, she will let you know. And I was hoping that today there would be announcements. Of course, there's no announcements today. So I don't have any to share after I gave that great tip. There are also, here's another thing to learn from one of my mistakes. There are certain books of the Bible that are very hard to pronounce. Just avoid picking a Bible verse from one of those. As someone who's doing this not in a full-time capacity as a pastor, you do not need to say those big words in front of a group of people. There are plenty of great passages to pick from things like Mark and Luke. You do not need to use some of those other ones, especially that big long one that starts with an E in the Old Testament. Do not pick a Bible verse from that. It doesn't end well. And then my biggest piece of advice. Don't sign up for devotions until you have an idea for a topic. This isn't an easy out. This doesn't give you permission to never find a topic so that you never have to do devotions. But just know that just tell yourself you're going to do devotions, and then that way you start to look for a topic, and then you find one that will make the whole rest of this process easier. So do know that it is helpful to have some sort of an idea of where you're going before you sign up for your date. So for this devotion, I came up with a winning idea. So I went to Gail and I got a date for the devotion, and it was the perfect kind of a date because it was far into the future. And so I was like, this will be perfect. I already have my topic idea, I've got a date, I've got plenty of time. This is great. This is going to be a real good one. Only this amount of time became the problem, because the more time that I had to think about the winning topic that I had, the more it revealed itself to me to be a bad one. And not only just kind of a bad one, it was a really bad idea. So no problem, I've got plenty of time. I've got plenty of time, so I just need to look for another angle. Surely there would be a nugget somewhere in the upcoming weeks that would help me out of this position that I found myself in. So I started searching. I listened intently in church to the sermon because there was going to be a nugget in one of those that I knew I could transform and make my own. I read other people's devotions. I went back and read the previous devotions that I had given. I even checked out inspirational cat videos on Facebook. I maybe spent more time checking out inspirational cat videos than I did on the others, but I did do that. When none of those really panned out for me, I still thought, no problem. We are gearing up for the end of the school year. That means that there are going to be plays, performances, sporting events, all sorts of kid activities that my children were involved in, and surely I would glean something out of one of these. And so I watched, and I waited. I knew that I would see an amazing gesture of sportsmanship or hear about someone overcoming adversity, and I would be able to share that with you, and it would be amazing. I heard and I saw both of those things, but still, it just didn't feel right. And the whole time that I was doing this, the clock was ticking. Just like the 15 minutes that I have before you this morning, my time, and I knew everyone was going to look at the clock. The time was clicking. It was ticking down. And then it hit me. I had been trying so hard to find that one magical thing that I had missed the lesson that God was trying to teach me. You see, because I was trying so hard to find a topic, I had listened intently to the sermons in church. I had sat in quiet reflection while I read other people's devotions. I had watched concerts and sporting events and hockey games and baseballs and plays and practices in a way I never had before, by watching the whole stage, not just the part occupied by my child. I had been present. Not only was I listening and watching intently, I was asking questions because I was trying really hard to figure out how all of this was impacting people so that I could share it with you. I was engaged. I was trying to find out how those experiences impacted my child's lives. I wanted to know what they thought of their performance, and I wanted to know what they were experiencing. I was present. God really got me this time. The whole time I was searching and waiting for a thunderbolt of an idea, he had been planting seeds and tending them while I ignored them. And he had led me exactly to where I needed to be present. Our Bible verse for today is from Psalms chapter 16, verse 11. See, Psalms, that's another one. It's pronounceable. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. On our prayer list today, we're praying for the employees and those we serve in the locations of Hospers, Iowa, and Hot Springs, Arkansas. We're praying for the Department of Palliative Care and for those they serve today. We're praying for family and friends in the military service. Since there's not one listed here today, I'm going to ask that we pray for a friend of mine from college. His name is Brock, and he's been in the military for a long time, and so I would just like us to keep him in our prayers today. And then we offer up any prayers, any private prayers that people have that have been placed into the prayer basket. We also have one additional prayer request today. We've been asked to pray for Jason, a friend of Bill Grand's, who is in surgery this morning. Bill is the senior spiritual ministry consultant. So if you will join me, we'll do this prayer here today. Dear God, thank you for being patient with us. We keep waiting for you to reveal yourself in big ways when too often you reveal yourself in small ones. Help us to appreciate all that you have put before us and to be present in all of our moments. We ask this in your name. Amen. And the song for today that I picked is Here I Am, Lord. And it doesn't necessarily feel like the right song, because the song is really about calling us to service and really calling us to be in service to others. But the reason why I picked it is because as I was thinking about the message that I was saying and that whole idea of being present, and it's the line in here, in the refrain, the "I have heard you calling in the night," that I really felt like this was the song for today, because I was really definitely ignoring that piece of the ways in which God was trying to reveal himself to me. And so that's what led me to this song. So if this song feels like it's a little bit out of place for the message that was delivered, that's why I chose this song for today. So again, I will be turning off the microphone so that nobody has to experience that as we go through. So, well, and thank you, Jane, for playing for us here today. Never fear. I made sure that I didn't say the last 3 words of the song so that when I turned the microphone on that you would not have heard an accidental moment of note from me while singing that song. I just noticed that Sharon is in the back too playing the organ today, and I thanked Jane, so I wanted to make sure that I thanked her as well for helping us with the music this morning. So I hope that you all have a wonderful day, a blessed day, and thank you for coming.